40 years. In fact, so much interest is focused on 20 to 30-year-old classic comics that collectors frequently pay hundreds of dollars for certain issues. But it has been only recently that the comic book industry as a whole has recovered from the inroads of television and TV's appeal to youngsters. But now the industry is bouncing back with the kids. Scott Osborne began his research on this subject by looking up an old friend, Spider-Man.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're pleased to announce Spider-Man is alive and well and living on Madison Avenue. And what's more, he's moderately wealthy.
I can't quit. Sane, insane, loved, hated, it doesn't matter.
Spider-Man emerges every month from the pens of the artists of Marvel Comic Group. Like Superman, like Wonder Woman, like Batman, he is enjoying wider circulation now than at any time in the last quarter century.
I've come for you, Kingpin.
Of course, in the comic book heydays during World War II, at least 600 million comic books were selling each year, under 600 titles. Last year, perhaps 300 million books were sold, under 300 titles. But that's still considerably better than the 200 titles that have been selling in recent years.
I feel like a puppet guided by invisible strings.
We at the Marvel Comics Group have tried to establish more relevancy and more philosophy and more satire in the stories.
There is the Doom Castle dead ahead. Tonight we shall be free.
You had best take a weapon, Luke Cage.
Don't want it and don't need it, baby. Robots, aliens, snazzy rifles, and this Doom dude. Pretty flipped out stuff for this old street gang rumbler. But like old Doom said, the superhero biz is a whole other thing altogether. And nobody forced me into it.
I would say that each day there's more and more interest in our comic magazines. The college kids have discovered them. Of course, the young people have always been into comics. And all the ages in between seem to be latching on.
Derek himself falls prey to the very fate he had planned for Chris.
Oh, Miss Edna, I didn't know what else to do.
Derek was involved in drug traffic, and he tried to kill me.
We sell about 60, 70 million comics a year.
So despite the ravages of time, our heroes will prevail. Monsters, madmen, and assorted doers of evil will be vanquished. And who knows? Perhaps we need all of those comic book fantasies, all of the heroes and all of the villains. In the real world, you know, it's sometimes difficult to tell who's what. Scott Osborne, WNBC TV News.
I did it!
They used to be thought of as just kid stuff. But today, comic books appeal to all ages and are very big business. Brand new, they only cost about a dime, but many rare or historic comics have become coveted collector's items, like this first issue of Batman. Value, $4,200. Scholars may never take the phenomenon of the comic book seriously, but Hollywood sure has.
Shazam!
The movies have created millions of new fans for these larger-than-life superheroes. Their universal appeal is based on feeding audiences fantasies of invincibility, an heroic sense of honor little seen in everyday life.
You are beautiful.
You keep your slimy hands off her.
And of course, the audiences love the kind of action that has added words like zap and pow to our vocabulary.
Mighty grateful. That's all right, Jack. You know me? I ought to. I'm your twin brother.
However far-fetched the stories may get, Hollywood's comic book heroes are immensely popular the world over. The Batman TV series is still regularly seen in 104 countries.
Sorry about that, Commodore. Won't take a minute. Yes, you will. Hey! You okay, Robin?
I sure am, Batman. Thanks to that anti-penguin gas pill.
The pompous fool. He's played right into our hands. Quickly, via Bat-Cycle to the Bat-Copter. We'll track him to the gang's new hideout.
If you were in France, Africa, or Quebec, the dynamic duo might sound like this.
Pauvre idiot, il a donné tête baissée dans le panneau. Vite, en Bat-Moto, allons au Bat-Copter, nous le suivrons jusqu'au repère du gang.
Throughout South America and Mexico, you'll find the Cape Crusaders speaking fluent Spanish.
Un vanidoso tonto se ha puesto ahora en nuestras manos. Rápido, en la baticleta al baticóptero. Lo seguiremos hasta su nuevo escondite.
And even halfway around the world in Japan, if you have a yen for Batman and Robin, they're there too.
バカなやつめ、思うつぼだ。急げ、バットサイクルに乗れ。バットコプターでギャングを新しい隠れ家まで追跡だ。
But in any language, Batman means adventure and excitement.
Torpedoes, fire! Batman! Full airtight missile coming right for us!
Hold tight, Robin. This may be tricky. Brace yourself, Robin. We're going down. This could be the end.
Holy horseshoe! Some luck. Landing right on top of a bed of foam rubber.
Yes, Robin. I'd say the odds against it would make even the most reckless gambler cringe.
A need for heroes early in World War II gave us the legendary Captain Marvel, whose magic word, Shazam, gave him superhuman powers. But how many of us remember who Shazam was?
I am Shazam.
My name is...
All is known to me. Your name is Billy Batson.
But where did you come from?
Out of the past, my son. Down through the ages to guard the secret of the scorpion. So long as the golden scorpion may fall into the hands of selfish men, it is the duty of Captain Marvel to protect the innocent from its evil use.
But who is Captain Marvel?
You are, my son. All that is necessary is to repeat my name, Shazam.
Shazam.
Hollywood sometimes has problems casting certain superheroes. In those cases, artists are called in to do the trick, as they did when they created the world's mightiest mouse.
Hurry up! I have a job to do!
Popeye the Sailor Man.
Popeye the Sailor was already an established comic and movie star when television reintroduced him to tens of millions of new fans.
I'm the Swag Whaler Man. Hey, I want me Goyle.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Who are you?
I'm Popeye the Sailor Man. Who are you? Oh, see you give up. What are you, a fresh guy or something? I'll show you. I can see. Up. Don't leave me now.
TV has kept many comic superheroes from disappearing from the public eye. But for the purists, there will never be anything comparable to the original serialized movies. The serials were 5-hour movies separated into 12 weekly chapters. To get audiences to return to the theater for the next chapter of the story, each episode ended with the hero in grave danger and facing certain death. These tricky endings came to be lovingly known as cliffhangers.
Captain America, give me that wheel.
Here's an ending from the original Captain America, showing our hero being blown to bits. How could he possibly escape? For those of you who always suspected that the cliffhangers might have been slightly rigged in the hero's favor, we'll give you a little insight. When audiences returned the next week, the story was recapped, except this time, a new shot of Captain America jumping out of the truck had been added. When Batman was revived on TV in 1966, it was shown twice weekly, bringing the sweet frustration of cliffhangers to a whole new generation.
This catapult will hurl you through the sky and across Gotham City. I'm sure you'll make a big splash at the other end of your journey.
The Caped Crusaders to end smashed flat at 2 Pengi. Friends, Romans, countrymen, find out next week. Same bat time, same bat channel.
Holy cliffhangers, Batman.
Don't go away. We'll be right back with the smashing conclusion.
You're watching Sleepcore. Pleasant dreams.
Ow, ow, ow. What goes good with puppies? Kids. And what goes good with kids? Why, comic books, of course. Many kids out there in our audience have whiled away the hours reading about Flash Gordon and Batman. But as we find out in our next story, comic books are not for kids anymore. They've been around since the 30s. And after a half century, comic books aren't just for kids anymore.
I think comics nowadays are not something that you grow out of, but something that you grow with.
John Hitchcock is manager of Acme Comics in Greensboro, North Carolina. It's one of thousands of specialty stores that has popped up across the country in the 80s. The comic book industry is quietly taking in $500 million a year.
It wasn't written for anybody older. And now there's a whole section of comics, not necessarily adversely violent or adversely sexual, but they're just written for mature readership, college and beyond. So there's comics now that you can read that don't insult your intelligence, but it's comics that'll challenge you.
A prime example of how comic book characters are being handled in an adult fashion is reflected in the upcoming Batman movie due out this summer. The film stars Michael Keaton and Jack Nicholson as the Joker.
Wait till they get a load of me.
Gone are the cornball days of Adam West and Cesar Romero. Gone also is the teenage sidekick Robin, who was violently killed off last year. And if that's not enough, Batgirl was graphically shot in the spleen and replaced by a love interest that wants Batman to let himself go. Another popular comic is Watchmen. In a recent issue, one of the superheroes uses gangland tactics to get answers. He says, "I've just broken this man's little finger. Who killed Edward Blake?" When he didn't get the right answer. And his index finger? Who killed Edward Blake? Well, even the characters got grossed out. This is being read by adults and kids.
There is a lot more violence than there used to be. When I was reading Batman, he used to be a real nice guy, and now he swears, he does bad stuff. It's surprising to me.
Is it still okay for him to read it?
Well, I don't know. The TV shows are bad. Everything's getting violent. So it's hard to keep him away from it.
Along with the old comics with new adult appeal, there are new comics with the same appeal. Here's one, Brought to Life. It's a real-life story of the Iran-Contra scandal. Its central figure, Ollie North, of course. Black Kiss is another new comic book on the market, and this one is definitely for adults only. Now, even though it has a legitimate storyline, some of the illustrations leave little to the imagination.
It's not Friday unless I can come up to the comic book store. I mean, it's just not a Friday. This is the peak of the week for me.
A break from reality, you know. That's my main reason. I've been reading them since I was 8, and that was my main reason, just to block the real world out and go into a fantasy world.
How old are you now?
25.
Comic books are changing, or maybe better put, evolving. World War II gung-ho Sergeant Fury is giving way to the realism of Nam, a comic about the heartbreak of the Vietnam War. It doesn't stop there. You can even read about the life and times of Pope John Paul and Mother Teresa, all in comic book form. Some even call comics art, but whatever you call it, it seems they're here to stay, for kids and adults.
The 50s stereotype of a dummy rolling up a comic and sticking in his back pocket is dying rapidly, and people are just now beginning to wake up and realize it.
The price of comic books aren't for kids either. Oh, they start for 75 cents or $1, but they're also good investments. If you had the issue where Robin was killed off about 4 or 5 months ago, it would now be worth $30. And if you had issue #1 of Superman, you could get over $30,000 depending on the condition.
DC Comics. It all started with a mixture of short comics called New Fun in 1935. 2 years later, Detective Comics emerged, one of the oldest and longest-running comic book titles. Taking the initials from this book, DC Comics derived its name. In 1938, Joe Shuster and Jerry Siegel created the first superhero in Action Comics #1, Superman. The next year, an 18-year-old named Bob Kane introduced Batman in Detective Comics #27.
I saw this book by Leonardo da Vinci when I was 13, and da Vinci had a quote, "Your bird shall have no other wings but that of a bat." And he actually, there it was for me, a Batman.
Comic books began to take flight, with their action-packed storylines and stunning characters. Wonder Woman first appeared in the 1942 All-Star Comics #8. The Flash in the 1940 Flash Comics #1. Swamp Thing in the 1971 House of Secrets #92. Sandman first appeared in 1939, inspiring Neil Gaiman's Sandman #1 in '89. The original re-emerged in '93 in Sandman Mystery Theater #1. Lobo made a brief appearance in 1983, and a decade later got his own book, Lobo #1. Many of these characters have transcended the pages of comic books into the world of television, feature films, and cyberspace. Enter the universe of DC Comics.
Yeah, do you have Rocky comics?
No.
Well, I've been all over town looking for Rocky comics. I gotta have this comic. This is a really good comic. It's a rare comic, and I really like to get a copy of it. Rocky #1.
Rocky Comics?
Yes, Rocky Comics #1.
There's a Rocky Comics?
Of course there is. You never heard of Rocky Comics?
Never heard of Rocky Comics.
Oh, a lot of people haven't. I've been all over South Bay, like I said, looking for Rocky #1.
Sorry,
it's a really good comic.
We don't carry Rocky Comics.
You don't? Well, I need to try to go somewhere else.
No. We carry normal stuff.
Normal stuff? You call this normal? You call that over there normal? I don't think that's normal. That looks very bad.
Sorry, no Rocky Comics. There's a Rocky Comic. What is Rocky Comics?
It's Rocky, the squirrel, the flying squirrel.
Oh, I thought you meant Rocky as in Sylvester Stallone Rocky. That's weird.
No.
But no, we don't have the squirrel Rocky either.
Not that one. That's a movie. That's probably.
I was thinking, what
the hell's the matter with you? I come out here, looking for Rocky.
Well, I don't know. You're gonna have to go down the street. I mean, that's the only place I can check. is down the street. You better just...
Okay, well, I'll give it a shot down there. Thanks a lot for your time.
For those of you who like to let your imaginations go wild, this is it. It is the Super Bowl of superheroes. DC and Marvel Comics are doing something unprecedented. Each is letting the other superheroes appear in their own comic pages. But that's not all. Each comic will have a ballot, and people will get to vote on which superhero they like the best. And superheroes will even fight villains from different comic strips. It's also part of a campaign to get people to register to vote in real life, and you could be a real life hero that way.
Kind of an interesting tactic, but whatever works, huh?
Yeah.